Okay, so about this time when I'm in Kauai, I was talking to my mom on the phone and I was asking her, Mom, can I please go back to Los Angeles? And I want to go to, get a master's degree in college maybe, but I also want to talk to professors, get the quadrant model stuff out, but can I go back to Los Angeles? She was saying, no, you can't. If you come back, I'm going to make your life hell. You're going to be homeless. I'm not going to help you. Stay on Kauai. So I was basically a prisoner on Kauai. And then I asked my mom, can I talk to Dad? Please, can I talk to Dad? Because I could tell my mom was just completely emotionally unstable, completely erratic in the way that she's talking to me. No, you fucking loser, schizophrenic bitch. That's the way she talks to me. I'm not making it up. And no, I'm not. You're not allowed to come back. Okay, so can I talk to Dad, please? And then my mom said, your dad doesn't want to talk to you. He's never going to talk to you for the rest of your life. He's embarrassed he has a schizophrenic loser son. And I'm like, Mom, I don't have schizophrenia. Do you have any idea what schizophrenia is? I don't have it. Even my grandpa was telling my mom that I didn't have schizophrenia. He was telling her, no, he doesn't have any symptoms of schizophrenia. But my mom was like, no, you're wrong. She said, you're not even a real psychologist. She believed that my grandpa wasn't even a real psychologist, but he is. He has a PhD. And she was like, you're just, because she thought he's a spiritual psychologist. And she said she thought that he was crazy, that he didn't believe that I had schizophrenia. But I did not have schizophrenia. He told her that. And I did not. I know for a fact. And I had just graduated with a bachelor's degree from psychology at UC San Diego. I did not have schizophrenia. So at that time, I asked her, can I talk to Dad at least? And she says, no, he's never going to talk to you. He's embarrassed. He has a schizophrenic loser son. You just get that through your head. Your dad is never going to talk to you for the rest of your life. Get that through your head. So, and that's the way that she would speak to me. And then my grandpa, she would say that she wanted to become independent, but my grandpa admitted, and I talked to my grandpa and my grandma about this, and my grandma said that she didn't like my mom, my dad's dad, because she said that she was judgmental and she called Amos, her son, names, and she said that she was very immature. And my grandpa said the same thing, that she's very immature, and that he says that she exhibits predator-prey software, and he said that she was doing that toward me. But still, nonetheless, my grandpa did want me to become independent and get a job and stuff, because he thought that would get me to let go of the quadrant model, because he didn't believe the quadrant model at that time. Like I said, I told him about it. He's laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, what about the planets? Is there 4 planets? And I'm like, yes, there is. And he's, oh, ha, 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 ha. No, because he wouldn't listen. The fact of the matter is the quadrant model is the theory of everything. It is what our reality is based around in a supernatural way. Now, my grandpa's framework of understanding did not allow for him to see that or be receptive to that truth. But so my mom's saying, no, your dad's not going to see you. You're a loser. And I told my mom that I wanted help. I want to talk to my dad because I wanted to get basketball videos of when I was younger, because I wanted to study the basketball. And my mom was like, oh my God, this is why you're schizophrenic, you fucking loser. Because you're stuck in the past. You're 23 years old. How long are you going to be stuck in the fucking past? How long are you going to be fucking stuck in basketball? You're 23. And I'm saying, Mom, I want to get the video so I can study the basketball. And I told her, and this is the first time I ever brought it up. I said, because before I was not allowed to talk about the past, I said, and I brought it up. I said, Mom, you're saying how, because I forgot to mention this. This is what my mom said. She said, and your dad doesn't want to talk to you because just think about how you treated him in high school and middle school. You're such an asshole. She said, he doesn't want anything to do with you. He never is going to talk to you again. So I told her, well, Mom, I watched videos and I saw what happened. I saw that what the genesis of the problems was the shoot away machine. It messed up my shot, and that's where the problem started to occur. And because I wanted to explain to her, if it wasn't for the shoot away machine, all that wouldn't have happened. But I know in her mind, she thought I was a problem. So she reinforced that by saying, like, oh my God, you're blaming the shoot away machine? Oh Jesus, you don't take responsibility for anything. God, this is why you're schizophrenic, because you're stuck in the past. You're stuck in basketball. And she said, if anything, the shoot away machine would have helped you. The shoot away machine didn't mess up your shot. And then this is what she told me. She said, the reason your shot got messed up, the reason why you fell apart was it was too much pressure for you. You couldn't handle the pressure. it was too much pressure. You fell apart, and that's why your shot got messed up. It wasn't because of the shoot away machine. And the fact of the matter is it was because of the shoot away machine. I know for a fact. I could look at the videos, and I know if it wasn't for the shoot away machine, I would have continued to exponentially get better. Everything would have been good. I know for a fact that was the problem. But then my mom is discounting it and dismissing it and invalidating what I'm trying to tell her. And she's saying, it wasn't the shoot-away machine. If anything, the shoot-away machine would have helped you. She's like, you're so ungrateful. We get you the shoot-away machine. Now, you see, all you do is blame others. And what she was trying to do is she was parroting again what my grandpa would say. And my grandpa would admit, he would say, yes, she accommodated his teachings, but she misappropriated it and she didn't understand it. And his teachings are, yes, it's important to take responsibility because that's all you can really do and not blame people, but just because you can't change people, but all you can do is work on upgrading your software. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think you can change people and influence people, which is what he did in a negative way toward my mom and dad and in a lot of ways. But, you can't change people because he influenced them to try to make me independent more. He could have told them, hey guys, you're not acting appropriately. This isn't effective. This isn't beneficial how you're behaving. Can you please, work on this? But he didn't do any of that. Instead he continued to work on alienating me, and it increased my alienation. So my mom's saying, no, it wasn't a shoot away machine. It was because you don't take responsibility. You blame everybody but yourself. And what she was doing was, again, she was parroting my grandpa, because my grandpa talks about the importance of taking responsibility and not blaming. And he would tell them about that. And again, she misappropriates it. And my grandpa would admit she was incorporating it into her predator-prey software and her judgmental software. And as opposed to being, a gentle, kind, presence, as my grandpa would say, a beneficial presence, she was being malicious, mean, judgmental, and harsh and hurtful. And it was very traumatic for me. It's very traumatic and very hurtful. And I was going through a lot of suffering at this point, because now I'm like, geez, I know for a fact the shoe machine messed up my shot, and I want to show you guys. But my mom's saying, no, your dad is never going to talk to you again. And I don't believe, it's not the shoe machine. It's because you fell apart, because you couldn't handle it, because you were becoming mentally ill. You became mentally ill, and that's why your shot got messed up. And now things are like way worse, because now I want to show her, no, that's not the case. So that's what's going on when I'm in Kauai. Then the next thing that's going on is, as I said, so I'm not going to go like this might be a little bit out of order chronologically, but I ended up going to my grandpa, and I told my grandpa how I wanted to talk to my dad. And my grandpa was like, yeah, it would be nice if he talked to you, but, he doesn't want to talk to you. So I was like, okay, but, and I said, but, I figured out what happened, why the abuse happened in high school, all the problems happened. And I figured out it was because of the shoot-away machine. And this is the first time I ever told my grandpa this, because I didn't tell him in college because I wasn't allowed to talk about the past. But I felt like it was necessary at this point. And again, my mom, remember, she's like, oh my God, don't talk about the past. This is why you're schizophrenic. And that was my grandpa's whole thing. Don't talk about the past. Just be in the eternal moment. But even he would admit, if you're in the flow, sometimes talking about the past is appropriate. When you're in the flow, there's no formula. And sometimes it could be okay, especially in this context. Yes, bringing up the past, if I was like, Mom, Dad, you guys are evil, and that might be negative. But I was trying to do that because my mom was saying, your dad's not going to talk to you because of how you acted in high school. And I was trying to tell her, listen, it wasn't necessarily all my fault. A lot of it had to do with the fact that the shoot-away machine messed up my shot, and that caused problems. But she didn't want to hear that. She wanted to put all the blame on me and make me the bad guy. So then I'm trying to talk to my grandpa, and then my grandpa, I told him, I know why the problems happened, why the abuse happened and all that. It was because the shoot-away machine messed up my shot, and Dad was trying to fix it, and I know that whenever he would fix it, it would go back to being messed up, because I know it was because I was picking it up off the rack. But anyways, my grandpa was like, you think it was a shoot-away machine that messed up your shot? I was like, yeah. He was like, ah. He was laughing and clapping his hands, and I was like, are you fucking serious? And he was like, oh my God. He was like, it wasn't the shoot-away that messed up your shot, Ryan. And I was like, yeah, it was the shoot-away. It did mess up. He was like, no, it wasn't. He was like, the reason why the problems happened was you were playing against bigger, better players, and you got frustrated. You took out your frustration on your dad, and then your dad started to beat you up. That's why it happened. And I was like, that's not what happened. First off, I didn't say this, but it's true. First off, I wasn't playing as bigger, better players. I was bigger, better than them. I was a starting point guard as a varsity as a freshman. He didn't know that. He wasn't there. He was living in Kauai. And all this, like, I would have continued getting exponentially better. The only thing that me and dad fought about was my shot. It wasn't about because I was playing against bigger, better players. It was just we were trying to fix my shot, and I know it's because the problem was because of the shooting machine. So then my grandpa's like, oh, so he dismisses me. And then he's like, that's not true. And I was like, dude, are you trying to be like the villain of this story, dude? Because like you're really acting like a complete villain, evil person. So I was now I'm upset about this. I'm like, well, you know, it was a shoot away machine and you might not believe it, but that's the fact. So then I'm just like, now I'm stuck in Kauai and my mom's dismissing me, my grandpa. And then my grandpa's like, what you need to do is you need to get a job. You need to become independent. And then you won't need to talk to your mom and dad. Once you're independent, then you won't need your mom and dad. Because in his mind, he's thinking the only reason why I need my mom and dad is because I want stuff from them. I want them to give me stuff. And no, I do want that. But a big thing is I want to talk to them because I don't like being alienated. I don't like being thrown to the side and casted aside and them not speaking to me and them belittling me and degrading me and denigrating me and all that. So I'm like, no, I do also, yeah, of course I want things from them at some point. Everybody wants stuff from their parents, but I want to talk to them and I don't like what's going on. And I told them like, and I'm not happy about how you're telling them to try to make me independent because they're misinterpreting this. They're misinterpreting this as, okay, throw him to the side and be emotionally unavailable and don't talk to him and neglect him. And, you know, so I was, you know, resentful that my grandpa was doing that. So this is like a very traumatic situation. I'm in Kauai and this is what's going on at that point. So then that was when I started writing on INTP Central. And, you know, at around this time I was writing about on INTP Central. And I'll talk about the stuff that I was writing on INTP Central. And I'll do that in a minute.